I'm Sydney Kurland. I'm a playwright in the Talking It Out Festival. My play is called Something Stupid. If you want to learn more about my play in the festival, keep listening to the conversation. So, I was raised in a household where theater was really important. So, I'd been exposed to it from a really young age because both of my parents were really passionate about it. I started performing when I was 7. I joined like a musical theater school for kids and I stayed doing shows, learning there until I was 15. And then in high school, I also participated in theater and had a wonderful drama teacher that exposed me to plays. And he gave me Annie Baker's John to read. And that play, I guess, changed everything. I was like, because primarily before I was only doing musical theater. And then I found this play, John, and I was like, straight plays are cool too. I love them. So I read a lot of plays and I wrote in high school, but I was never serious about it. I didn't show it to anybody. And so my first year of college, I was studying acting at a different university than where I'm at now. And the program wasn't really working for me. And I just decided I'm going to apply to writing programs because I was still writing kind of secretly or like to myself. And so that was the first time I really showed my writing to anyone else. And now I'm at NYU and I show my writing to other people every day. I don't really know what prompted me to write my first play. I guess I was having like a silly conversation with my dad and we were talking about like a hypothetical situation. And I guess I became so taken with this made up situation that I was like, I have to write it down. So I wrote it into a play. And the first couple plays that I wrote were very, very personal. And so it was almost like a diary, but I was like writing it in play form instead of like a normal diary. So that's how I started getting into writing. I love theater. It's my favorite art form. I think it's the best one because it's live and you can't really compare anything to how intimate it is. Like, like I'm not really like I like going to the art museum, but I can't get into paintings emotionally. But like with the theater, it's like even the audience is participating. And I think that's so, I don't know, it's just really vulnerable. Like you're going into experience art and you can't be a passive viewer. And I think that's really cool. I always do some form of outlining when I am creating a play. Sometimes I write a really detailed outline that's very similar to what you would do for like a screenplay where you really break down every beat, every scene. And sometimes I just know that certain things are going to happen and it's more of like a free write. I kind of get antsy when I'm writing an outline, especially if I'm very excited about the project. And I sometimes will just rush through it to get to the draft as much as possible or as fast as possible. I don't really like writing first drafts. I love outlining because that's kind of fun. You're just exploring. And I love rewriting because you already have something to work with. I find first drafts to be really hard, but it's always super satisfying when you finish one. And then, I'll go through, make edits on my own. It's very rare that I'll show someone something that's like a true first draft. And then obviously I'll just show people I trust in my classes, friends and stuff, and get feedback and then work on edits. I don't remember how I heard about the Talking It Out festival. I'm constantly on the lookout for small theaters, play submissions at NYU. They recommend stuff to us all the time. So I don't remember how I heard about it. But I'm very interested in writing about mental health. I felt like the play that I had submitted was a really good fit. And I was just really excited about anyone who was interested in talking about mental health through theater because I like that you can address issues through theater without it feeling prescriptive head on. It can really feel more natural, especially because we're telling a story of characters. Like, these issues can just be aspects of their life or their identity, without it feeling like a aggressive call to action or a lecture or something like that. I got the idea for the story that I wrote from personal experience, because I feel like I've had the thoughts that I gave this character, and they're kind of weird to express. Like, this character is talking about the desire to just not be, and that can be very frightening for people around us, because we don't want people to harm themselves, we don't want people to kill themselves. So I just wanted to talk about this idea or this feeling. I just needed a space to talk about it. So it's a 10-minute play about a woman named Jane, and she is in a doctor's waiting room with her friend who's like accompanying her for this appointment, waiting to find out some test results, because she may or may not have a tumor. And she confides to her friend that sometimes she wishes that she could have the tumor, because then she could have cancer and die without having to commit suicide and have that stigma or worry about it going wrong. And understandably, the friend is very concerned, and she keeps protesting to the friend, like, I'm going to take care of myself, don't worry, I'm not going to do anything stupid, these are just some thoughts, just some ideas. And I left the ending pretty ambiguous. It ends with the friend kind of in an awkward place saying, like, I just don't trust you now that you've disclosed this information. And then there's a knock at the door that's presumably the doctor coming in before they can really resolve this issue between them. I want the audience just to understand that mental illness, depression looks different for different people. I feel like there's stereotypes about how people with depression are supposed to look. Like, maybe they're very, skinny and they don't have any sleep, and I don't know. I want to combat stereotypes about what mental health looks like, or mental illness looks like, and how it looks different for different people. I'm looking forward to the festival because I don't know anything about the other plays. So I really want to see what other people's takes on mental health awareness in theater would look like. I think people should watch this festival because I think, one, it's really important to support mental health awareness. And I don't really like saying like awareness for things. I guess more like, by watching this, I think it would help destigmatize certain conversations around mental health. I hope maybe it would start conversations about mental health. I think new theater in any form is so exciting, and I think we should support small theater and new plays. I think the arts make issues accessible. Like I was saying earlier, you can address difficult topics in theater and without it being like in your face to the audience, without them feeling pressured perhaps, without it being a lecture that could be boring or hard to understand. I feel like we're taking issues and showing kind of like a miniature version of how it shows up in our lives. So I just think it's important to support art that has a meaning and that has a positive message. Local theaters are important because there's like this idea that things like Broadway are the best, but that's not accessible to everyone. Broadway is like one street of a set number of theaters in one city, and like we need to have theater that people can actually go to, that they can afford to go to, that's near them, because being exposed to theater is important. Like what I said about it addressing issues is that it's important. I think theater helps both audience members and cast and crew members learn a lot about interpersonal communication, understanding our own emotions and being able to communicate them. So I think it's very valuable to get to experience or participate in theater. So I think it's so important that we have community theaters, regional theaters, and educational theater. I'm Sydney Kurland. I'm the playwright of Something Stupid, which is a play featured in the Talking It Out Festival. I hope to see you at the show later this November.